Early church. More than 150 years ago, the borderlands of the Rio Grande Valley were undergoing tremendous changes. There were no churches, schools, or hospitals. Brownsville, founded in 1848, was in its infancy. The census at the time recorded the population in 1850 at 2,734. 1838. 2 years after Texas declared independence from Mexico in 1836 and was trying to establish itself as a new republic, the Holy See in Rome placed the care of Catholics in Texas under the jurisdiction of New Orleans. Father John Timon, a Vincentian priest, was appointed the prefect of Texas in 1839 and was sent along with Father J.E. Hiberia to investigate the needs of the area. 1839. The entire area that was once served by missionaries from Mexico under the Diocese of Linares. It was designated an Apostolic Prefecture of Texas in 1839 by Pope Gregory XVI. And in 1874, 25 years after the arrival of the first missionary priest from France, the Oblates of Mary Immaculate, the Holy See created the Vicariate Apostolic of Brownsville on September 18th. The 150th anniversary marking this moment in history invites us to reflect on the historic events that shaped our church here in the Rio Grande Valley. Anniversaries serve as special occasions to celebrate the faith and heritage of the church. They remind us of the people and the milestones that made the church present in the area and our connection to the past. It reinforces our commitment to the spiritual journey that continues to this day. The Vicariate Apostolic of Brownsville. What is a Vicariate Apostolic and what does that have to do with our diocese? A Vicariate Apostolic is an ecclesiastical jurisdiction in the Catholic Church, which may serve as a temporary administrative division established by the Vatican to oversee a particular region or mission territory where a formal diocese has not yet been established. The Vicariate Apostolic of Brownsville was essentially a missionary territory that encompassed what are now the Diocese of Brownsville, the Diocese of Corpus Christi, and the Diocese of Laredo. It was originally a part of the Diocese of Galveston, which was created in 1847 and encompassed the entire state of Texas, with the Most Reverend Jean-Marie Odin, CM, as the titular bishop. Bishop Odin had 9 priests at the time to serve a population of 20,000. As new settlers continued coming to Texas from other U.S. states, France, Germany, Poland, and other parts of Europe, the population continued to grow. Bishop Claude-Marie Dubuis, who served as the second bishop of Galveston, believed the area was too large for one person to administer and asked that the Pope divide the territory. The Third Provincial Council of New Orleans made the same recommendation in 1870, and 4 years later, the recommendation became a reality. Recognizing the growth of the church in Texas, Pope Pius IX split the western half of the state of Texas in 1874. The Diocese of Galveston was divided with the creation of the Diocese of San Antonio and the Vicariate Apostolic of Brownsville. The Vicariate Apostolic of Brownsville included about 1/8 of the state of Texas and included by far the largest population adhering to the Roman Catholic faith. Pope Pius IX issued the bull Ad Futurum Rei Memoriam on September 18, 1874, establishing the Vicariate Apostolic of Brownsville, with the Immaculate Conception Church designated as the cathedral. This new ecclesiastical area, the third in Texas, had its own bishop, Bishop Dominic Manussi, who was called a Vicar Apostolic. 38 years later, in 1912, the Vicariate Apostolic of Brownsville was converted into the Diocese of Corpus Christi. 53 years later, Pope Paul VI established the Diocese of Brownsville in 1965. The stories told by the early priests and religious sisters and brothers tell of the harsh challenges and realities of making the Catholic Church present and tending to the spiritual needs of the people. The Oblates of Mary Immaculate priests and the Sisters of the Incarnate Word and Blessed Sacrament, and the religious orders that followed, worked tirelessly to build churches, schools, and hospitals in the community. They struggled with war, bandits, storms, illnesses. Some died of yellow fever. Yet they persevered and leave a legacy that serves as a foundation for what exists today. By recalling the history of the church, we can learn from the early missionaries whose presence gave people hope. Pope Francis makes this same call for us today. In his letter announcing the Jubilee 2025, the Holy Father reminds each of us, we must fan the flame of hope that has been given us and help everyone to gain new strength and certainty by looking to the future with an open spirit, a trusting heart, and far-sighted vision. The forthcoming Jubilee can contribute greatly to restoring a climate of hope and trust as a prelude to the renewal and rebirth that we so urgently desire. With the observance of the 150th anniversary of the Vicariate Apostolic of Brownsville, the diocese launches a year-long celebration of our history, which will culminate with a Mass observing the 60th anniversary of the Diocese of Brownsville in 2025. The Church not only preserves her past, she above all offers inspiration for the present life of the human community with a view to building its future.